Hey there, Wargamers, Justin our Painter here, and you guys are tuning in for this week's video blog. And we don't have a whole lot of updates this week. We have gone into the new year and we've been slammed at Death Ray Design, so I've been doing a lot of work over there. We've got some awesome new products that we're trying to get finished, both on the design side as well as the painting and photography side. We are trying to have that stuff done and released hopefully before Adepticon. I can't tell you much more than that, but I can tell you we're trying to make a big splash, and it is one of our biggest sets to date. It's looking really cool. We've not held any punches in regards to trying to do some really unique and different things, pushing the boundaries of what we currently do. Sometimes we play a little bit safe, we make some cool stuff, but there's certain elements and certain designs we don't do because we're worried about them. With this set, we've really tried to lift those floodgates and just do as much cool stuff as we can and see what works, see how the community is going to respond, and see what kind of cool design process and avenues that we can go down with that. And it's been a lot of fun so far. In terms of painting and hobby updates for the week, I did. I've gotten almost all of the hobby holiday things shipped out. As of filming this is like January 3rd, 4th or something like that. I lose track of the days. It might be the 5th. I don't know. But I've got Zarvran's stuff left to send. We've got Forbias has one thing left that may be given to someone else. We'll see. And then I've got Lothar's hobby holiday stuff. The reason 2 of the 3 haven't been shipped out is because they're international. So, but I have gotten in touch with Lothar, so his stuff will be going out in the next week or two. Zarvran, I've still got to get the shipping quote. So, sorry that has not happened yet. In terms of other hobby progress for me, not a whole lot. We're trying to get videos done. I am working on the painting tutorial for this month. I'm not sure exactly when it'll start releasing. I am trying to do it in installments, so we'll see if that's something new. It'd be cool. Hopefully that will be interesting, and you guys should be on the lookout for that, hopefully. I'm hoping to have the models that I'm doing for Wheels done soon so I can start working on my Legion, get that finished, and then transition into a Dark Angel. So I'm very excited about getting back to those and trying to kind of get the army expanded, get some of the Premier stuff that I've not finished. Some of it's not even primed, it's just built, sitting there. It's been there for a year. I need to get on that, so I'll be excited for that. I've got I've got a battle report coming up with Bob. As of filming this, it hasn't happened yet, but it is currently Saturday, and I should be playing with Bob Tuesday, so it's coming up. I'm going to try and have the nameplates done for a couple of models so I can have those showcased in the army. We'll see if I can get that done tomorrow. Probably maybe do it on stream for my Sunday stream. We'll see what happens. But I think that'll be cool, and that'll get our battle report film for the month. Just have to edit that once it's done, get that out for you guys. Thank you again, patron supporters. You guys are helping me to chase this dream that it is that I want to do, and I'm super dedicated. I think going into Adepticon is going to be a lot of fun. Networking with people will be cool, and hopefully by the summer we'll have expanded a little bit more and be able to do more on the content creation front, even if it's not tutorials a lot. Maybe we'll save that for like a polished thing, but more battle reports and things of that nature would be cool. But I did make a swap with Tim from Kit Kringle. If you guys are local, you should check them out. It's a cool place to pick up products. Tell them I sent you. Badger them for a discount if you're there, because I sent you there. That's what you should do. Tim likes money, but anyways, he's trying to get some Age of Sigmar going, and trying to expand his 40K table offerings. So we made a deal with him on behalf of Death Ray Designs, and I made him a couple of bundles of terrain to support Age of Sigmar and his 40K, and in exchange he traded me one of the super hard to get Sisterly Battle boxes, and I was totally gonna just like hold it on stream or on the camera here, be like, look what I got. But it happens to be 2 rooms away right now, and I started filming, so it's sitting there. That's where it's going to be. Now, initially my plan for that was to use it as some form of a giveaway on Twitch or the Facebook community or YouTube, something like that, and I don't think that would be a bad thing, but I spoke with Wheels today. Nothing is confirmed. He's interested in starting a Sisters of Battle army. He is semi-interested in the contents, most of the contents of that box, at the very least, probably trying to help me out, which, you know, because Wheels does what Wheels does. However, that maybe, nothing set in stone, may be part of a trade for me to reacquire my old Tau army. A few years back, Wheels bought the army from me. I thought he was super interested in Tau, and he may have been a little bit, but I have found out since that his honest motivations for doing that were to help me out, because he knew I was trying to sell it for financial reasons, and he just I guess, acted like he really wanted them, so he bought them. He's played with them a few times, but he has told me he's willing to potentially do a trade to allow me to reacquire them. And with the recent preview of Shadow Sun and knowing there's probably new Tau stuff coming, my interest in those has been rekindled a bit. I'm really excited, and the fact that he's open to doing some trades for me to get my old army back is very enticing. So I asked him if he'd be interested in that box. He's semi-interested. That won't be the only thing that would be going Wheels' way from me, but we'll see. I'm interested to see if he might be interested in having me whip up a terrain set for him, or bundle from DRD that we put together and paint. We'll see. But the silver lining of that is if that does transpire, I'll have another army on deck that is finished. It won't be meta worthy. It won't be huge because my Tau army was not huge at all at the time. But it will have new stuff for you guys to see me engage with in battle reports. And I don't have a lot of shield drones or anything either, so it's not like you're going to see anything cheese. But I think it could be fun. We'll see. At the very least, it'll if it works out and it's amicable for both Wheels and myself, then he'll have some Sister to Battle stuff and some terrain maybe, or whatever else might work out for him that he will use, and then I'll have Tau that I may get to use in the near future. So could be a win-win. Better than just me having a Sister Battle box and other things sitting around I won't use, and him having Tau that he doesn't play very much. So, but on that note, let's go ahead and switch over to the other camera real quick, and I'll show you guys what I've been working on this week, and show you a little bit of painting eye candy. All right, so if you guys have been following me on stream, you have seen these two models. Hopefully the quality of the colors here on the camera look a lot better. I think we've got it to a point where they don't look so green for whatever reason, and I think these guys are looking really cool. This Forge World Bro for Wheels is almost finished. I need to ring the bases black, obviously. Finish his pace. Finish his pace. I can speak. I speak English pretty well most days, sort of, kind of. I try to use big words with my fiance and my boss because I try and impress them, and it doesn't always work. Sometimes I use the wrong words, but B for effort in this case. But I've got the laurels here on his shoulder and his chest that I need to finish for green. Got a little parchment here on his fist to finish, and his face. And then I think he might be ready for packaging or for shipment. Get him packed up and ready to ship. His little bro here, which is arguably, in my opinion, the cooler of the two right now. I spent some time this week working on the Dead Orc. I think he is looking really cool. I really like the gore effect coming down back here and this little nub there. I think those turned out really well. I have to come in and do his face, a couple other details that I'm seeing immediately, and then like some edge highlights on his pouches, and then do the stuff for the joints here. And then I think he is also going to be ready for shipment. So the face is probably going to be the time-consuming part, but I think a couple hours across the two and they will be done, which is ultra exciting. And it is about time that Wheels' models get shipped out. Now, I did mention at the beginning of this video that I was working on painting some stuff for a tutorial. We've been working on Mephiston, and this was kind of the reference image that I used. I did not quite get to the same bright orange here, the same red they'd had down here, but I will show you what I've worked on so far, and hopefully that'll spark some interest for you guys who want to watch the videos. So first and foremost, I tried to do a more pale face, and then when I actually picked up the photo of him and saw the face I had, this looks more like natural skin, not quite as pale. I'm going to roll it because I think it's going to look good, but he's so pale. And I was going off of memory when I sprayed these colors down. It just was crazy the difference there, right? And he is a little bit more pale than I think. Let's see, I've got a dude over here. He's a little bit more pale than this guy, perhaps, maybe. Heck, I don't know. Sometimes with flesh, I just kind of start painting this stuff and go with it. But there's Mephiston's face, and I think that's going to juxtapose really well with his actual armor. There is his backpack so far. I think that is mostly done. We just need to get the skull and crossbone in the back done. And then Mephiston himself. Here's where we are so far. So I think the robe's really popping, very bright and vibrant. I came back in and did some extra highlighting on his armor plates to kind of give that more of an orange depth to it. Like I said, the actual box art is very, very orange red, and this is a much darker red. So we ended up with a little bit of a brighter orange on these than that. That's leaning more towards the maroon, I think. But I really like how that turned out next to the black. and the armor there. So mine's kind of the reverse. Like his robes are darker and his armor's lighter, and my robes are lighter and his armor's darker. But I think that regardless of not matching the box art super well, I think it's going to match the Marine's armor pretty good. Like looking at their feet, they're pretty close. They were painted at different times, so the colors aren't 100%, but it's pretty daggum close, I think. They should look just fine next to each other on the table, I think. It should look pretty cool. So in the tutorial so far that I filmed, I've done 2 parts that I've got to get edited. First part was assembly, airbrushing, and masking. Second part was working on building up the robes and bringing them up because they had gotten a little desaturated, and I think that they're looking pretty good. And then in in part 2, I was going to talk about doing the edge highlights and working on the cape. That didn't happen because I spent so much time working on the robes. But part 3 will probably tackle the cape, and then maybe do some work on his face because I airbrushed that and washed it. I think that that'll speed things up. I just need to edge highlight it, do his mouth, his teeth, his eyeballs, and his hair, and it'll be good to go. And like I was showing before, he's not quite as pale as the box art is. I'll show that again. It's not quite as pale, right? But when you juxtapose him next to the armor, he looks a lot more pale, right? You know, so on their box art, this is really bright and this is a little darker, but with his face being this shade and not quite as bright as the other one, but then you put it next to the dark armor, it really does bring into focus kind of how actual pale he is. So I think that's going to look good, and I think that the sword, when I get to that, is really going to be looking cool too. I'm really excited. This has come along very quickly, a lot faster than I thought it would. Once we get his hands done with the brown gloves and add the little white details on here, which is really cool because I'll get to use some more of this Apothecary white contrast paint on those, which will be super awesome. But I think that's going to really start to bring everything together. And once we get those edge highlights on this cape looks fine enough as it is, but we'll hit it with some edge highlights and really make that pop. But on that note, I think that's all the hobby updates I have this week. So let's go ahead and flip the chair around and we will sign off for the day. I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with me for my brief vlog. Normally these run about half an hour, but this week I haven't had as much hobby stuff to cover or anything changing this week to share with you, other than the fact that I was working on the tutorial. So that might make sense why this is a little on the shorter end, because I've spent probably close to 8 hours working on the tutorial thus far this week. So you know, that's kind of been the focus of what's going on in terms of my hobby stuff this week. So we'll see what I get into when this guy's done, and I have a few weeks to focus on something else towards the end of the month, hopefully. We'll see how long it takes me to finish him. So but as always, I'd like to end today's video by thanking everyone who has helped support me, all you guys over on Patreon and everyone here on YouTube. And if you're listening to this and you have not already followed the channel, I encourage you to do so. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, ding the little bell so you get alerts when I put up new videos. And if you're not familiar with me and you're somehow watching this, make sure you check me out over on Twitch. I do paint 3 to 4 days a week live, and my Sunday night stream's the big one each week, where I work on something completely different, usually not commission related. It might be 40K related, but it's different than what I worked on previously in the week. And towards the end of the stream, I will showcase what you guys, members from the community, have been working on. So you get a moment to shine, which is pretty cool. And I'd like to see some new faces there. So if you want to come hang out and engage with me, that would be awesome. I'm real, I'm live, I will engage with you and talk to you. So I think that'll be pretty cool. And if you'd like to help support the channel, I encourage you to check out Patreon. We got some cool pledges there. I will actually have to, almost forgot, I got to ship out the pledges this month. Probably should have talked about that on here, but I have reminded myself, so I'll have to get the pledge rewards shipped out this month. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, there's some really cool stuff over there that'll be up for grabs. We've got this laying next to me, which would be something that is one of the Patreon rewards as well. So we've got these little dice bags with our cool widgets in there. It's convenient having things next to you. These are some limited ones that I had Austin make me. They're green. Hopefully it's not messing with the green screen right now. If it is, then I'm like holding nothing, because that's going to be something else. But we've got these cool little widgets for gameplay purposes, and our objective markers, things of that nature, which are pretty cool. So that's just some of the stuff from Patreon to reward you guys for supporting me. But ultimately, if that's not your jam and you are interested in picking up some terrain or some stencils for working on your models, I encourage you to check out deathofdesigns.com. Coupon code GETAMP10 will save you 10%. A portion of those proceeds come back to me, which helps me to produce content for you guys, which I love to do. And it also happens to be my 40-hour-a-week job, so supporting them helps keep me employed kind of two ways and get you some cool products in return. So I encourage you to check that out if you are in the market. But on that note, I think we're going to sign off today. Folks, as always, I encourage you to keep painting those models, keep rolling those dice, and I will catch you next time.